This is the Seahawkers podcast, episode 476. I'm Brandon Schultz of the Military Seahawkers, and I am joined by my good buddy, Adam Emmert. As Adam, our Seahawks, we're going on a short week. We're playing the Arizona Cardinals, another NFC rival coming up, and I'm ready for some Thursday night football, buddy.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's fun to get right back out there after a dominating performance that they had against the Saints. And you just want to see these guys get out there and tear it up again. So definitely looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to putting down the bad birds in our division. And this is going to be a good time, man.
I do wonder how that feels like as a player, like after going in and dominating a team the way they did in the Saints, you know, the 21-point first quarter and finishing off the game. Like, it has to feel like, okay, yeah, I want to keep this train rolling. Unfortunately, they do have to go on the road to do it. They don't just get to stay at home. And I don't know what that necessarily means for them. I know your take on airline travel, and it's probably been well documented on the show, so we may not need to get into it. But I just feel like that quick game right after, it has to, like, the mentality has to be just fresh.
You would think so. I mean, you heard Ernest Jones say that he was ready to, roll it out there again and get going right away. And it's a short flight down to Arizona. It's not like it's cross country on top of that. So I wouldn't expect that to be too big of a hindrance. Unlike it was for the Saints coming up here, who apparently came early, went on boat rides or something, and they got boat raced. I don't know. It was a bad day for the Saints. That's for sure.
That was one of the funnier things that I heard after the fact, was that the Saints put in all this time to go ahead and, yeah, we're going to come up to Seattle, get used to the time change. We're going to do team building activities. And then it just all collapses on them in such a short amount of time. And it even felt like in just, I don't know, the span of a few plays, because, you know, I talked a little bit about it with Clinton on 3 and 3 Out this week. And the fact that, you know, the Saints, they got the Seahawks off the field, and then they take that penalty where Brazil headbutts, our Gray Zabel, and then we're back on the field, throw a touchdown the next play. Then we're blocking, we're taking punt returns to the house. We're blocking punts and punching it into the end zone. And it's like it all just steamrolled real quick off of one penalty.
Yeah, it just got out of control quick. It's a little like rolling the snowball from the top of the mountain and just watching it build up as it goes down the hill in a hurry. And but it was a joy for Seattle fans, and I'm sure it was a joy for you in the stands, man. I mean, you were actually there. I think we figured it out. I'm no longer allowed to go to home games, and yeah. So thank you for bringing the good Hakra to the stadium.
It's been a while. My mom and I went with my mom, and we were trying to figure out what the last game the two of us went to, like just the two of us, and it had been a while. So maybe that's the key. Maybe now my mom and I just have to go to all the home games.
Hey, whatever works, man, but get after it. The other thing I realized is that Brittany was gone and on a trip for this week. And so she hasn't been here all weekend. So she's going to have to leave the state for every game now. That's just how it is. I'm sorry for her. It's a lot of driving, but it's just what has to happen.
I mean, it's a good reminder for all of us to make sure we are doing exactly what we were doing on Sunday when it comes to Thursday night. Like we have to make sure that we're either wearing the same clothes, that we're in the same part of the house, that we're in a different location, if that's where we were on Sunday. I know this is going to be like difficult and strenuous for some of you out there, like to make this happen logistically. But if we want to see our team do well once again, like we have to make sacrifices.
Yes, we do. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do the same thing. I'm going to be picking up Bronco Jared from SeaTac shortly before the game. So I'm going to Seattle. The Seahawks leave Seattle. So that was a little bit of a bummer. But not going to be able to do the same thing. So hopefully that doesn't screw things over. But I don't think it will, because you look at everything that the Seahawks did against the Saints, and a very complete performance. And it's hard to think about going into Arizona after watching them once again kick a victory just away and just refuse to win a football game, to think that they can't go in there and have success.
Yeah. Watching this Arizona Cardinals team through the first 3 weeks of the season, it's a real shame that the Cardinals couldn't come away with a victory against the 49ers, because I feel like either way it goes, the Cardinals have not played a strong schedule to start the season. The Seahawks, they haven't played a strong schedule to start the season. So I recognize the fact with both, but the Cardinals, with the teams that they've played close games against bad teams. They played against the Saints. It was a close game. The Saints, they had an opportunity to win late. The Panthers, they played a close game against the Cardinals. And then this game against the Niners, they absolutely balled it up and threw it in the garbage, like at the worst possible time.
Man, that was just tough to watch. You know, the punt goes into the end zone, gives them good field position. And, you know, then before that, it's that 3rd and 9 was it 3rd and 9? I think it was. And for whatever reason, you know, Kyler's throwing a 25-yard outbreaker to Zay Jones and apparently gets injured on the play too, but he can't bring it in. And it's just like, just one first down, just one thing, just scoot out and do the run around thing like you do, Curry or Kyler. Like, what are we doing? Yeah. And I was thinking Kyler and Murray at the same time, and it came out Curry, and Curry's way better than Murray. We know that. But at the end of the day, like, there's just so many little things down the stretch for the Cards where you're just going, how in the world did you throw that game away? But that's been their MO for a long time. And they're just a franchise that doesn't seem to know how to win. And I think really that's what the biggest difference is between Seahawks and Cardinals going into this week is just coaching staff and culture and all of that. Mike's got this thing buttoned up. This thing is very, very tight right now. And the Cards, they can't seem to get out of their own way.
No, and it's been, you know, a week of, especially with the way that they lost. I mean, the talk is around Marvin Harrison Jr. and his drops that, gosh, he had one that was wide open, another one in the end zone that he should have had. The injuries that are piling up now with James Conner going out, and a defense that they were able to bottle up the 49ers for quite a bit of this game. But as good of a sign as that was for their defense, it showed with their offense, like you couldn't do anything to match that, like, at all. No.
And look, Marvin Harrison not living up to the billing when he came out of college has been a massive problem. Trey McBride's still good, and that's a guy you're going to have to worry about. But after that, what are we talking about? Lots of injuries on the offensive line as well. And then you mentioned the James Conner injury, and that's by far, without question, maybe some of the biggest news this week for our Seahawks, because look, James Conner's a hell of a running back. And if they can't run the ball and they've got to put it all on Kyler's shoulders, it's going to be a real long day for the Cards, I think, with the pass rush working as well as it is in terms of pressures.
One of the things I worry about is if the team will maybe let up on loading up the box to stop the run. Like, is Trey Benson going to be as scary as if you had James Conner out there? And by doing that, then, you know, it's going to open up other areas of the game. And especially with Trey McBride, because he does seem to be like their one piece. He's the guy that they go to on 3rd down. Shoot, he's the guy it feels like they go to if the run game's not working, just for quick passes to get it to the outside and move the ball forward a couple of yards. And if Julian Love's not playing, how do we see the Seahawks maybe matching up in a way that, okay, Kyler, he may be able to get his in, you know, those runs, the scramble runs. I don't know if I'm as concerned about the Kyler Murray scramble runs as I am about the ways that Trey McBride can beat us. And I don't know. I'm having a hard time. Like, I could find ways to get concerned against the Saints, and I'm having a struggle finding those same ways to get concerned as a fan against the Cardinals.
All right. Well, if we're going to look at it, we're going to go through the lens of ways to get concerned. All right. One, you mentioned Trey McBride. Well, how do we match up with Trey McBride? Yeah. Is Spoon going to be back? Is that even somebody that you'd put on him quite a bit? Or is he too undersized to match up with somebody like Trey McBride? Could it be even Worry if he's back? Yeah. And if so, do you want a guy who's played all of 3 snaps in the NFL going up against what maybe the 3rd best tight end in all of football in coverage? When I think, in my opinion, Eamon Warrior in college, like his real skill was getting downhill and being a box defender, not so much in coverage. So that's a little scary. Do you trust Tyrese Knight in Ernest Jones to match up in coverage? I don't know. And that's what makes Trey McBride such a tough player to figure out. But I'm going to guess that Mike's going to have a plan. I imagine there's going to be a lot of bracketed coverages and all that, and dare them to beat us with, whether that's Marvin Harrison or the other receiver that everybody keeps trying to convince me is good and has never been good.
Michael Wilson.
His name's even freaking forgettable. Like, I just don't care. And then, Dortch, like who cares? Right. So that'd be interesting. So the matchup with Trey McBride, that could be concerning. The scrambling stuff that could absolutely be concerning. My number one thing for the Seahawks defense this week is on Thursday night is contain. Like, that's the biggest thing that you have to have on the top of mind when you're executing your pass rush plan. And I'm sure Mike will have them on their P's and Q's for that. And kind of their style of rushing right now, with everybody kind of getting theirs and it being not just one guy, it kind of presents itself as a muddle rush to a degree, and that could work out and be very effective against Kyler. But the scrambles could be concerning. The third thing that I was thinking about was in the last 2 games where the Seahawks have won fairly comfortably, over the Steelers and then last week over the Saints, is special teams really did add to the point total there to really pad that thing and make it a lot more comfortable. Well, that's great, and I'm excited about that. But special teams is more of a high, especially special teams scoring, punt returns and things of that nature, covering a kick.
We should get punt return touchdowns all the time from Troy Horton now.
I don't know what I'm thinking. Yeah, no, you're right. But that's high variance stuff.
When the last time we saw it was 10 years ago, it's a little bit sporadic.
a wee bit. Or, some rookie just not covering a kick and you're able to jump on it for a touchdown.
Yeah,
whatever it is.
Never happened in the NFL.
No, right. So if you don't get a score out of the special teams that gives you kind of that buffer, are we going to be able to be consistently enough on offense, converting the chains in the red zone, all of that, to come away with the type of victory that I think we all kind of feel in our bones going into this? So those would be the 3 things. If you're looking for elements of concern, that's where I'd start.
I'm glad that you had those locked and loaded, because I think from where I'm at as a fan perspective is on the historical side against the Cardinals, because when you've beaten a team 7 times in a row, you tend to take them, I think, as a fan for granted. You're like, okay, well, we have this team's number. It doesn't matter who's our coach, whether it's Pete Carroll or Mike McDonald. Like, we've got this team figured out. And even with or without James Conner, like Kyler Murray, like we are just almost undefeated against Kyler at this point.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which quarterback, whether it was Russ, Gino, or, we'll see now here with Darnold and going into that house of horrors that is the stupid Arizona Cardinals stadium. I mean, that's the one thing. Like, if you're looking for more concerns, just the Indian burial ground and the history of injuries there. Like, that's the one thing. I would even not be the maddest coming out of this game with a loss if it was close, as long as we came out healthy. I think I'd be fine with it. But at the end of the day, I just don't see how this Arizona offense, which is completely disjointed without their leader in Connor, with all the injuries on the offensive line, with Marvin Harrison having the yips, he's basically the Chuck Knobloch of receivers now. I have a hard time seeing how the Cards are going to be able to put up more than 14 points. And if that's the case, shoot, even if the offense is a bit disjointed against the Cards defense that's 5th in the league in scoring, so they've been doing something right. Again, quality of competition, so keep that in mind.
The 32nd ranked strength of schedule.
Yeah. Oh, is it really? Okay. Yeah. And everybody said the Niners would have the easiest. I think that the offense should be able to put up at least 3 scores, like pretty solidly.
Well, talking about injuries, and the one thing about a short week and the injury report, you don't really, it's kind of an estimated injury report to where they are doing walkthroughs and they're not really doing normal week practices because they're trying to get guys healthy. Just played on Sunday, so they're not asking them to do like a whole lot, but they kind of they do these estimated practice reports. And Robbie Oots is the only guy who has not participated. So he has an ankle injury, and coming out of that game, he was in the tent for a while. That was one thing that I picked up on because I kept on watching while he was in the tent during the game to see like how long he was going to be in there. And then by the time that I remembered to look back again, so much time had passed that I had completely forgotten that I was focused on that. I think we probably scored or something, and then I got distracted.
Right.
But Robbie Oots probably going to be out at fullback, which means we're going to see some Brady Russell back there potentially. Some limited participants. Well, let's go to the other did not participate is Josh Jones, your backup tackle, and he has an ankle injury.
He barely got in like the last quarter.
Yeah, I don't know if he got an injury, whether it was lining up on field goal kicks or
maybe
what exactly happened. I didn't see where that Josh Jones ankle injury happened, but hasn't participated all week. And full participants, Zach Charbonnet, both days, Ernest Jones, both days. So Zach could be ready to go. I do wonder how having Charbonnet back this week is going to help if they decide to load up the box again, because now that we've been through 3 weeks, like that really seemed to be what the Saints had in mind in stopping the Seahawks, is that they're just going to load the box and they're going to make Sam Darnold beat him. And then Sam said, okay, I have a JSN that I can throw to and is going to be open every time, even if, I decide to go play action and you guys have 3 people deep. He's going to get by all of you and catch this football. Like that's just what's going to happen. And it's been really cool to see that development. I'll get back to injuries. Let's talk a little bit about how we might see this Cardinals defense focus on what they want to stop.
I would imagine that they're going to try to do the load up in the box thing and really do stop the run. And I know that K9's stat line didn't look great in this last game, but how many 10, 15-yard runs did he have called back on a holding call in that game? I mean, it's just right there. And not half those holds didn't even need to happen. Like, come on, guys. But clean that up a little bit. And, they still have a nice game on the ground against the Saints team. You're right. I mean, they're putting 5-6 dudes on the line, especially early in the game. They were selling out to stop it. And as I said in the post game, this is such a product of the emphasis that's been put on this since week 1 in terms of the run game, how it really has put the fear into opposing defenses to where they're loading up for that. And then it does just open everything up. I think Sam Darnold's a quarterback that has faced 2 high shells, like one of the least amounts in the NFL. I think is like 3rd or something like that. Like he's hardly seeing it because they're playing a lot of single high, getting the extra dude in the box. And boy, howdy, does that open things up for JSN and Horton down the field and Barner on crossers, which I really hope they get him more involved. It really all works hand in glove. In having that identity in the run game has now made it so now you can counter with the play action and the boots and all that stuff, and they can't do a dang thing about it. And it just makes a defense helpless. I wanted this so bad for years and years and years. This is the type of offense I've been talking about. It's finally here, and it's awesome to see it work to its full potential, or at least the beginnings of its full potential here in the first couple of weeks.
Well, and you wonder at what point you're going to maybe see some of that evolution of the offense as teams continue to load up the box. At what point do they get tired of getting beat by JSN, Horton, and AJ Barner to where then they go, oh, well, I guess we got to play too high. And then we can shift to where, Zach and K9 are getting the ball a little bit more and seeing a little bit more space. And that's another reason why I wonder with Zach coming back here, I think back to the game against the Niners, and that was more, where Zach was seeing maybe some more guys up front. I just wonder between the two, if Charbonnet is maybe the back who's better suited for these really heavy fronts by the defense, to where they're going to start closing down the gaps a little bit. And if you could just pound the ball, take your 3-4 yards and then find, and then mix in K9 where you can. That's kind of on my watch list, I think, to see how the dynamic of these two backs ends up working out based on the defenses that we're seeing.
Interesting. I don't think Charbonnet is 1 ounce better at being a power back than K9. I
don't mean power back. I actually mean a guy who fits through maybe smaller windows, smaller holes.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I think K9 does have a tendency to maybe not try and shoot through areas where, like, he wants a little bit more space. I just get that sense.
Interesting. I'd love to sit down and maybe do a film comparison sometime, but Sharps does have a good ability at doing that. I think where you might see an advantage for Charbonnet in this game is he's the fresher back.
Sure.
I mean, K9 got the majority of the carries last week in, short week, all that stuff, and Sharps sitting out last week. So maybe this is a good week for more Sharps, just based on the fact that he's going to have fresher legs going into a Thursday night game, which doesn't give you a lot of time for recovery.
I also wonder too how they're going to, and will we see Jacardier Wright back down? I guess I haven't looked at the practice squad moves. I would suppose that he'd go back down. Halani, even though he had the fumble, he's probably going to hold on to that third spot in the running back rotation.
Sure. Or he doesn't, and then Wright will play, and then if he doesn't, then Halani will play.
Well, you could see that the team wasn't too concerned once they were up, or even throughout the game. Like, it was either K9 or they weren't running the ball early on, right? With Charbonnet out, and then it was okay once the game's in hand. Okay, now we can do Halani and Wright, and it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know that Kubiak has big feelings about the difference between Halani and Wright, as do some of the little flockers in the Discord. Like that's definitely been a topic that has been hotly discussed at times. I'll throw my hat in the ring on that. Zero catfish.
Yeah,
it's a third and fourth string back. I just don't care.
Right. It was kind of similar to my opinion of Jalen Sindel and Oluwatimi. Like,
that's it. True. Yeah, you were very much in the. Didn't have one to give. Not one.
No. So now through these games, with the Seahawks offensive line against this Cardinals defensive line, again, there's not a ton of concern there. Like, of guys,
dude, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just Seahawks PTSD to a degree, but Calais Campbell looks good. He's playing good football. He's the one who caused the safety towards the end of the game to put the Cardinals up that, should have sealed that thing for him. And, I just picture him going up against Anthony Bradford, who had the struggles last week. And that sends shivers down my spine a little bit. You put the vet of vets, Calais Campbell, over top of Zabel. And as good as Zabel has looked, and he has looked good, that's, that gets a little scary there because, the vets have all the tricks, and Zabes is just starting to get it figured out. Josh Sweat, I think he's been creating more pressure than I thought maybe he would going down to Arizona. I had major concerns or wonders, I guess, about, how talented he is in terms of being kind of the star of that show as far as the pass rush goes.
Yeah.
In comparison to his time in Philly, where he was with a bunch of other very good defensive line players, but he's been showing out. So, there's some guys. They're doing some things. I don't think that. I think it's a more talented front than we saw with the Saints.
Okay, I mean, I'll give you that. But yeah, you brought up the name that strikes fear into us as Seahawks fans, and that's Calais Campbell.
I know, and I can't even hate the guy because he's awesome.
Yeah. So sports hate can work in funny ways.
It sure can.
And I do sports hate the crap out of Calais Campbell because
good for you. Good job.
I'm
glad you were able to get there.
Like, I hate that guy.
Good. All right. I want you to. Yeah. Feel the rage rising through your veins. I love it.
Well, part of it is like he leaves Arizona. It's like, oh, hey, maybe we can get Calais Campbell. And then he goes to like the Ravens. And then it's like, oh, he's leaving the Ravens. Hey, Calais Campbell's a guy I'd love to have. And then he goes down to Jacksonville. And it's like, all right, well, why can't?
Well, he must be washed, but it'd be cool to have him if he wants to come for a couple. No, back to Arizona.
Back to Arizona. It's like, okay, well, maybe this is like his retirement tour to where this is, he spends his last year and he's just kind of ho-hum. And no, through 3 games, like he's been tearing it up.
He's been tearing it up. I really do believe that I could be trying to start to cash Social Security checks by the time Calais Campbell is no longer effective in the NFL. He's going to be like 98 years old with a walker just whooping ass.
And he's never playing for Seattle. Like he's
never.
Like, I hate that city. I'm never going there. Screw those guys. And that's why I sports hate Calais Campbell.
Did like John Schneider spitting his Cheerios or something one morning or something? I don't know why, but no, can't be bothered to come up here.
All right. I'm not as worried about Josh Sweat. I feel like what we've seen from our tackles to this point, I'm definitely more concerned about what's going to happen up the middle with Campbell. But don't clip this if I'm wrong.
I'm with you, though. Like, if you want to double down on that, Cross has been excellent in. I think that he can more than handle Josh Sweat, like, at this point. And really, Abe has played pretty well overall in pass protection. And you think about some of the competition he's got up against in the first few games. I mean, whether that was Bosa or whichever Jay Watt he was going up against, since we can't ever seem to keep them straight, the JJs and the TJs.
Don't let me into this.
You did. You were just as bad on that podcast. But he's been decent against those players. I would imagine that he can hold his own against somebody like Sweat.
Yeah. And Baron Browning off the edge. Obviously, I feel
I really liked him in Denver, and he just has done jack and catfish since he's gotten down to Arizona.
Yeah. Well, I think the area where the Seahawks offense can exploit is the secondary. And when I especially when I look at this last game between the Niners and the Cardinals, like the fact that the Niners couldn't put as many points up on the board, they were limited by Mac Jones being there.
Nope. He's as good as Brock Purdy. And like, I don't even know why they paid that guy. He's not $45 million better than Mac Jones. Mac Jones is amazing. Like, his arm's good. Like, he's a leader. Mac Jones, like, gotta love Mac Jones.
Yeah, I wonder what Mac Jones' average depth of target was against the Niners, because I think the way to beat this Cardinals defense is challenging them deep. And yes, they have Budda Baker. He's the guy in that secondary that you do really have to worry about. But the corners, I feel like our receivers on these corners, Adam, is this is a win for the Seahawks.
Are you not worried about the Rabbit playing safety?
I don't know.
Are you not aware of the Rabbit? Because I don't think anybody was. He had the pick last week, and the announcer exclaimed, "The Rabbit with the pick," and everybody's like, "The what? Who?" I think it's Taylor Demerson is the one that he apparently has the nickname the Rabbit. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's okay. I don't know anything about the Rabbit.
I don't blame you.
He was drafted in 2024, 4th round pick. Yeah, Dadrian Taylor Demerson. It's interesting when you fiddle with the PFF lineups, they're saying Jalen Thompson is their safety in base defense. And then when you go to nickel, that's when Thompson is the one who drops down and Demerson's the one they got back deep.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right.
I mean, if you say so, PFF. That's how I feel about PFF as a whole, to be honest. Like,
if
with
you say
all their
so.
stuff. Yeah, I mean, if you say so, sure.
So, yes, I think that this secondary is one that the Seahawks have an opportunity to exploit with JSN, with Torrey Horton. Maybe Cooper Kupp even get some catches on this day. I'd like to see, if Kupp has a down game, maybe this is the game he has back up. He's just at that point of his career to where he's a little bit up and down, and he can.
I'm waiting for that up game. I can't wait for it.
It's going to happen against a rival that he's familiar with in the Arizona Cardinals.
Cool. I'm here for it. Let's go. Come on, Cup. That'd be cool. But one of the places that I think they could exploit, watching the way Mac Jones attacked them, was in breaking routes in the intermediate zone of the field. That's where he was able to do the majority of his damage, hunting Pearsall all day. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I look at Pearsall doing that and like, oh, JSN can do that in his sleep. And then once they all are committed to trying to get after him, then everybody else eats. So I honestly believe that this offense is going to have a very good day. And I just don't see a path offensively for the Cardinals to do much of anything.
This defense has been playing so well that, yeah, it's hard to pick an area. And especially the way Kyler Murray has been playing to this point. You talk about average depth of targets and the way that offenses are attacking opposing defenses. Kyler Murray does not throw the ball downfield like at all. And I thought that maybe with the offensive shift, that would just be something that they would try and move Kyler into, because that's kind of just been the way things have been going for him. And with a guy like Marvin Harrison, like that's a guy that I feel like you should be able to attack downfield with. As good as people tell us Michael Wilson is, that should be a guy that maybe you can try and stretch the defense with a little bit. And there is none of that. That Kyler just is not a downfield thrower.
So did you watch any of the highlights or any part of the Niners Cards game? Like actually watch it?
I watched some of the highlights. Yeah.
Okay. Phil and I had a opinion on What If this morning on the preview show.
Yeah.
Regarding Kyler's arm. I don't know if anything stuck out to you one way or the other. I'm just curious if you had any thoughts on that.
No, I watched the condensed version against the Niners, and you think that he just can't throw deep anymore? Is his arm no good?
Dude, it looks like I laughed when I listened to one of the Niners reaction shows, and one of the hosts said that Mac Jones had a better arm than Kyler Murray, and I about fell out of my chair. And then I actually ended up watching a fair amount of that game and was like, oh no, I think they might be right.
Yeah.
He's throwing lollipops out there, man. Like that snap that he used to have in his arm, it just doesn't seem to be there right now. I don't know why that is. Also too, like he seems to have a harder time than ever seeing the field, especially from the pocket. And there's just not a lot going on there for him. And he's just got to get out and create for anything to really work for him these days. And it's just interesting to watch him. I feel like he's starting to fall off a cliff. And we saw with Russ how fast that happened. Like once he left Seattle, I'm starting to wonder if maybe that could happen even earlier for a more diminutive player in Kyler than even Russ was.
Yeah, I think that the thing about Kyler is that he still has that escapability. And so when he is able to, okay. The thing was, though, is when Russ was able to have that kind of escapability, get outside the pocket, like the arm was still there to where he could make all the throws. And now it seems to me as, okay, once you get that pressure on Kyler, you make him have to escape the pocket. Yes, he can still do it. But once he's outside of the pocket, it's like, I don't know, maybe 33% of whether or not he can complete that throw while on the run.
Yeah, I would agree. And he's not testing defenses deep on the regular. And he's always been kind of a five yard out merchant. Like I've made that joke for years now with him, and it's still the case. So I would think that this could be a game in which the Seahawks defense can be extra suffocating. And on top of that, on the short weeks, and this is just my opinion, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I'll let you all decide for yourself. But it feels like to me on these Thursday night games, because of the truncated week, the game planning is lesser. And therefore, the team that's more talented usually has a bigger advantage than when they would play on a regular rotation of 6 days in between games.
Right. Yeah. And going back to, because I wondered about Mac Jones and his average depth of target against the Cardinals, and I pulled it up, and
7.3.
7.7.
Hey, okay, that's pretty close.
7.4 on the year, which is ahead of Kyler's, who is like at 6.
Yeah.
And it might even be in the 5s. It contrasts that with Sam Darnold in the game against the Saints, where he was at 11.6.
Well, yeah. I mean, the game presented itself in a way to where that's what you were going to do.
Okay. Well, going back the other 2 games, 8.5, 8.9. So
right, which is right. I mean, that's respectable NFL quarterback land.
Yes.
And yeah, both Mac Jones, and I'm glad that Mac Jones is taking strays and we don't even play the Niners this week, and he may not even start another game. But yeah, it's been a rough go for the Cards. I don't understand Petzing's philosophy on offense. But then again, I don't know what you do.
That's the other thing with the way that their offensive line has been to this point in the season. What can you do? It's like they have the opportunity with a guy like James Conner to be that type of team that, okay, well, we gotta focus on hammering the rock with Conner. Yes, it's probably not going to look pretty with him averaging out 2 to 3 yards per carry, but we have to do that to open up some of the other things for Kyler to be able to attack downfield. And it just hasn't worked, because as soon as they drop Kyler back, they can't pass protect, and then there's people in his face, and then he's scrambling outside the pocket, and then, like I said before, that's where he just hasn't been effective. So, and then when he does hit open guys like Marvin Harrison, then they're just putting it on the ground anyway, and so he's not getting some of that help like in those other moments. So, the fact that they're 2-1, they should be very proud.
They should be. Hey, they beat a Panthers team that thumped the Falcons 30-0 this last week.
Explain that to me. I don't know how that happens.
I can't. So right. That would be the explanation.
Week 3.
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut?
We saw a lot of weird week 3 things. We saw the Browns beat the Green Bay Packers for one. We saw the Bears and Caleb Williams look awesome against the Dallas Cowboys defense.
Was that weird?
Maybe that shouldn't be weird.
Yeah. I also love how everybody's like, oh, look, Caleb's figured out. Him and Ben, they're getting on the same page, all that. This is the same Cowboys defense that made Russ look like 2015 Russ, a week earlier, right? 2016 Russ, wherever you think the peakiest of the Russ powers were.
Yeah. He looked real good, and then not. So, yeah. There was some other weirdness throughout the league, but
I've heard this from so many different hosts' mouth over, from smaller shows to national shows all over the place here in the last few days of, well, now that we're 3 weeks, I mean, teams are really starting to declare themselves, and like, you can really start to see who's who and what's what. What?
I mean, more than week 1.
Yeah. I don't think you can start making that determination to like week 6. Week 5, like, I don't know, at the earliest.
Which team's the worst in the league?
Yep. Maybe the Titans. I don't know.
They're up there.
Yeah, I mean, you maybe throw Saints in there.
And probably throw the Saints in there. But there's teams that you don't know if they're good or bad, like the Falcons.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting at. Is like, well, okay. We
know that aren't good.
Right. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like, we know that the Bills are good. Okay. Well, thank God for 3 weeks of football to let me know that. I know the Titans are terrible. Well, again, thank God for 3 weeks of football to let me know that. Like, okay. I see a lot of people making a lot of very declarative statements with certainty about certain players in teams and all that. And it's like, man, we haven't even hit the quarter mark of the season yet. Like, everybody simmer down just a little bit. Because I remember Cards teams of years past being 7-0, 6-0, crap like that, and then not make the playoffs on the regular. So,
but I think we still had an idea of whether they were good or not. Like,
well, I did.
The fact that a team is 7-0, you can look at their body of work and go, yeah, they're 7-0, but are they?
Like, do you know what the Vikings are right now?
I have no idea.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know what the Falcons are. I think the Bucs are pretty dang good. Yeah, it's just
the Vikings are fun. That was a fun game.
I ended up not watching much of that game, unfortunately. I did have it on the 4 box for a minute.
Okay,
but
once the score got out of control, but fun game defensively for them.
Yeah, that Rhodes dude had like a spoon against the Giants type game. Yeah.
So I do want to talk a little bit more NFC West and what we honestly think of the division. Is there anything else that you want to say, though, about this game against the Cardinals?
I think the Seahawks win this. I think it's going to be one score, but you won't feel that full-on pucker of a regular one-score game. But just because division games, you're probably not going to get that big special team swing throughout the game that we've seen the last two. And yeah, I think it's going to be like 21-14, something like that. I think is what I said.
I want Chaz Surratt to have another tremendous game to where he blows dudes up and steals souls and then springs punt and kick returns.
Oh, for sure. I'm into it. Let's also not get too excited for the Chaz when he blows up a punter. Like, I might be able to blow up a punter if he's not looking.
Yeah, I suppose. But the way he did it, it was outstanding.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was great. It was fun. But it's not like he's decleating a linebacker type.
Yeah. He's just got to figure out the scoop and score thing.
Sure. Or he doesn't. I care about that about as much as I do the third and fourth back.
I just want to see it. It would have been, a little more fun for him.
It would have been. That would have been cool.
Especially after stealing a punter's soul. Like, you
can't do that.
No?
No. Well, punters don't have souls. What are we talking about?
That's a good point.
You can't steal something that's not there.
I feel like your head's in the right spot with this game. I'm going to go with you.
Okay. And yeah, go ahead.
Where's your head at then where it comes to this NFC West? Because now through 4 games, now I'm going to ask you what we've been saying about teams around the league.
Yeah.
Do we know what this division looks like in these 4 teams?
I can tell you, get the catfish button ready. The Niners are catfished. They are so screwed. Losing Bosa is just, oh my goodness. Like that. I heard all the copium from Niners, the Bang Bang Niners gang, the last day or so regarding Bosa's injury. Well, Michael looks good, and the other guys they've been good, so it'll be fine.
They talk in a falsetto like that.
They do, and I suppose
that's what it feels like after a Niners fan when you've been kicked between the legs with injuries for like the first 4 weeks of the season.
Oh my stars. Yeah, no doubt. And, McCaffrey, while quote unquote healthy, I don't think he's looked like the explosive type back running the football that he has in years past. And then you're counting on Ayuk coming back from like what? Hasn't he been gone from the game for like 2 decades? It feels like it's been forever.
I think he last played around the time Steve Largent was playing in the 80s.
Right. And they're relying on a kicker who has the ego the size of Texas. That dude, I've never seen a kicker come in like mid-season and genuinely believe it's all about him. That dude is jumping around and celebrating and just pointing at himself. My goodness, Eddie Pinheiro. He loves him some Eddie Pinheiro.
He knows the team needs him. Like they took their kicker and said, no, we can't have this. He's come in and he's missed kicks too, but he knows that there is no other option other than him at this point.
Yeah, he's got this weird Cobra Kai like sweep the leg motion too. Like when he kicks it, like it's really weird. I know everybody's like, oh, Saleh will figure it out. He changed the defense around when Bosa went down last time when he was here. Yeah, you don't have, anybody outside of Fred Warner to really lean on like you did back then when those rosters.
Michael's been playing pretty good.
Oh, Michael, he'll be fine, and Salah's still handsome, so it'll be fine.
Please let it be fine.
It'll be fine.
Okay, so the Niners done.
Yeah.
Although they're leading the division at 3-0.
Sure they are. Okay. Just like you said earlier about how, teams are good or bad or whatever. When they were 7-0, when we were talking about the Cardinals. Same with the Niners here.
Cardinals, I think we've made our points clear about the Cardinals, despite them being 2-1. Not looking like a team that is going to be there at the end of the year. The Rams, however, Adam.
Yeah.
I watched part of the Rams game against the Cardinals, or against the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
And the Rams teams, the Rams scare me.
Look, the Rams have been playing well. Football still has to work in LA. Devontae Adams can apparently just shove his way into touchdowns, which is cool, I guess. Nakua still looks good. Kyron was running the ball all over the place. I mean, Stafford is still in there. I think that's
defense, though. That defense gets after quarterbacks.
It does until it doesn't. And then they give up a bunch of points in the second half and then lose on blocked field goals. So there's that.
That was okay. If we're looking at all the things that were among my favorites from the weekend, it was that I was to the point where I'm like, okay, unfortunately, it looks like the Rams are going to get the win over the Super Bowl champions. They have this lead. They're up 19 points. And then to look up and see that it's tied at 26, that got me excited. But then to see them lose in the most spectacular fashion that a team can possibly lose in by lining up for a field goal, getting the field goal blocked, and having the team run it back for a touchdown to get the win. Oh, man, that was glorious to see.
It was glorious. I almost shed a tear. I almost bought a Jordan Davis jersey after that. Like, that was a lot of fun. And watching McVay's hair gel just go limp, when it finally had the kick block there. That was a thing of beauty. I think the biggest thing that I worry about for the Rams is just depth in the defensive backfield. I mean, I think they put Witherspoon on IR. When you're relying on Emmanuel Forbes and, Durant, who I like Durant. I think he's a good player. And Quentin Lake is a versatile guy. Like he's fine, but none of those guys are world beaters. And you're starting to, lose a little bit of the depth you have there. That would, that'd have me worried a little bit.
Yeah. I still, of the teams in the division, the Rams have caught my eye the most. Yep. They're the ones I'm worried about.
For sure. I think at this point, I would tentatively say it's a 2-team race in the NFC West, Rams and Seahawks. Just the Connor injury for the Cards, that really does just kind of, I was lower on the Cards than maybe a lot of the national media anyways, but like that just feels like a death blow for them. And the Bosa injury feels exactly the same way for me for the Niners. I mean, we'll see if I'm wrong, and upper register guy who just kind of is worried but isn't, maybe he'll be right.
The Bosa thing's going to be tough for them to generate any kind of, like, Michael's nice in the run game. Like, he's had some good plays to where he's stopped the run. I just don't know if they're going to get the pass rush production still from anybody.
Not Bryce Huff?
No. Who?
Come on now. Bryce Huff was pretty good there for a minute with Philly. Or no, with the Jets. Because he was bad with Philly. He was good with the Jets. That's what it was.
It's like Josh Sweat. Yeah, he was good with the Eagles for a little bit.
He's been pretty good with the Cards to this point, if I'm being honest.
Who are the tackles that he's gone up against, though?
I don't like this pop quiz about Panthers tackles.
Know all of the Cardinals' opponents' tackles. I suppose.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think maybe do the Panthers have a good tackle that he would have been matched up against?
I feel like their starting left tackle has been injured. but I could be wrong on that one.
Yeah. I didn't do any research before I asked you this question.
Well, believe it or not, I haven't paid a lot of attention to Carolina Panther football, mainly because I like myself and have other things to do. Yeah.
Although, was he going up against Trent Williams then? Was he getting good pressure against Trent?
Probably not.
Trent's washed. We saw Derek Hall get pressure. Not that means that Derek Hall's not that good. It just means that Trent Williams, I think, has taken some steps back.
Who's going to still be good at older, Calais Campbell or Trent Williams?
I think we're seeing it from Calais Campbell more than Trent Williams.
I do too.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me wish casting a little bit.
I want to. If I'm going to make a wish at this point, it's going to be that Calais Campbell gave his 3 best games to the Cardinals through 3 weeks of the season, and it's all downhill from here.
I enjoy your wish. I'd like it to be true. It's a little like rooting for Tom Brady to someday be bad, like, I don't know. It's hard to bet against Calais Campbell at this point.
Well, some other folks that you can't bet against. It's our executive producers, DCH, Ryan Peterson, our live YouTube executive producer, JC Schilling in the 313th, as well as Brian Shaw. And thanks to our producer, Stephen Kirkpatrick, coming in with a $44.13 donation. Appreciate that, Stephen.
That's awesome, man. Appreciate it a ton. And on cue, as always, for you, bud, in a huge victory. I wonder if at any point Stephen, stops rooting for scores, just for his pocketbook's sake. I don't know.
Can we not hit 50? I was rooting hard for 50.
You were.
And it didn't have anything to do with, it wasn't me rooting for a donation. I just wanted to see 50 points.
Yeah, you threatened to not leave the stadium until you got to 50.
Well, part of that was because I was sitting in the stadium and I was watching people leave. And part of it is, okay, Drew Lock comes in, and it's kind of when the backups come in, it kind of feels like the game has been declared over because, we're just not really... We're not giving it our A game and A effort at this point. We're going to let other guys play, and that's fine. You guys continue to do what you're doing and whatever you want to do, but we're going to start having fun by making sure that everybody gets a turn.
Yeah. And I understand if you live in Seattle and, you've got work the next day and all that stuff, maybe leaving a little
The Mariners were about to go into their 3rd game against the Houston Astros. So I think that I'm going to say in my mind that that's probably what was happening.
Why did they play so many games? Shouldn't they just play one? I can't imagine anybody having the attention span to last through 3 of them. Gross.
How it works. Playoff baseball is coming to Seattle this year.
Huzzah. No, good for the Mariners in all seriousness.
Adam, there's a lot of people that are Mariners fans that listen to the show. They're really
team. I know, and I just said congratulations. It's just not my jam. That's okay. It could be all yells. That's fine. But one of the things people talked about the stadium being an extra raucous maybe throughout this game. Was that your experience? Because there was some TV shots of the stands that I have some thoughts about. So I'm just kind of curious.
It felt raucous because we saw some plays that got the crowd really into it, like the punt return. That's something that you don't see happen very often. And so the crowd was extra excited for that. You saw the punt block. It got the crowd up and excited. So I think that there were a couple of those moments that probably energized the crowd a little bit more. But, there are some other moments where I have my questions.
Okay, because some of the field level stuff that you saw, in the background as they're showing players, we were whooping up, so you get to maybe watch some other things that you wouldn't normally watch. On some 2nd and 3rd downs, there's, let's say, a swath of 40 fans in the screen at that moment. And this was throughout the game.
Yeah.
10 people standing up and making noise and doing their job as a 12. They came game ready and they brought their lunch pail and their hard hat and they're getting after it, right?
Yeah.
And then there was another 20 of them sitting in their seats and kind of doing something, but not really. And then like 10 people just sitting and watching the game. And it's infuriating. It's infuriating. Like, look, I understand that you can do whatever you want at the game and everybody fans how they fan, except for like, we have a reputation. This is what you do. This is our job. 12 is 1. Like every single play on defense, you need to be making noise. If you take a play off here and there, I get it, to save your voice for maybe like third downs. And in fact, I'd encourage everybody, especially on third down, to start making big time noise before they even get into the huddle, so they have a hard time getting their play calls in. Like, let's take this to the next logical step. I was just a little disappointed in some of the stuff that anecdotally I saw on the screen throughout the game. And it's a little concerning. Come on, guys.
I share your sentiment, and I would like to discuss this more. And before we get there, though, we've got some email, Adam.
Oh, we do have email. All right.
Yeah. In fact, we have one from Evie.
Yes. All right. We've been kind of floundering without her guidance, so we needed at least a check-in.
We have. And the unfortunate thing is that Evie's emails, I have discovered, were going to my spam folder, which is not good. So we need to figure that out as we welcome in Evie. Dear underlings, the world is conspiring against me. My emails have been going to Brandon's spam folder, or did you all fear me that much now? Email spam filter, do better. 3 weeks in, people have been testing me. 4 in week 1 and 4 in week 2. I see Brandon has changed the picks for week 1 and hasn't for week 2, quite rightly. Those who pick against the Hawks, sucks to be you. Remember the rules. You always pick the Hawks. If not, they lose, your pick gets changed, so why bother? And if you do, you must post a picture of yourself in the Discord holding a sign that says, I love Sean McVay.
Dad, oh, no. Yeah. Oh, I just threw up a little in my mouth. Oh, that's an awful punishment.
Dad helped with that punishment. Bronco Jared has special rules because he is a special person for supporting the Donkeys.
He sure is. We all get a tax break hanging out with that guy.
The only other rule is having a fun name. Dad wanted to call his team, I love to cup my Dickerson. I love to cup my Dixon Witherspoon. But Mom told him to grow up, and it wasn't appropriate.
No. Yes, it is.
Especially as I look at the league. He is happy, though. He is in joint third at the moment with 38 correct picks, 1 pick behind DK, Have It Your Way, and Horton Here's a Who. Week 3 saw 1 winner, Hawk to Flock, with 13 correct picks. I have been busy starting back at school, so I haven't worked out the Brandon versus Adam mini league, but I will. Have a great week. Go Hawks, from Evie.
Go Hawks. Awesome to hear from you, Evie. Very sorry about the technical glitch there, and we're glad to have you back. The Flockers have been clamoring for you, no doubt. And I vote for Hugh to change his team name back to the suggested one. I enjoy that one.
Yeah, don't listen to your wife. Go ahead. It's okay. Change it, Hugh.
Yeah, I mean, you only have to spend the rest of your life with her and, listen to us like once a week. So definitely, make it tough on yourself that way.
Yeah. Great to hear from our Pick'em League overlord. Great to hear from John Davison coming in saying, hi, fellas. Now that was a win. Please, can we play them every week? This was so enjoyable from start to finish, and everyone got game, which was good, although I was hoping for a 50 burger, if not more. We didn't miss Charbonnet or Spoon, and all aspects of the game worked well. I have to, though. 2 players really caught my eye, and that was Hendricks and Horton. I will watch with interest as the season unfolds. Kendricks and Horton. Yeah. Without the turnover at the San Fran game, we could have been 3-0, and people might have talked about us. But let's keep flying under the radar, and I feel that there's no one in the division who scares me. Indeed, I've just taken the Hawks to win the division at 7-1, and this was from a recommendation by Barry, who has also invested. This could be a very open division. Go Hawks, from the Bard.
That's awesome. Hey, appreciate it, John, as always. And, it's funny. I've heard probably on 3 different national shows at least, was they're running down different teams and the ones that are 3-0 and all that stuff, being like, well, yeah, I mean, the Seahawks, I mean, they were right there, 15 yards away from being 3-0. And shoot, maybe if they had just scored there, like, we'd actually talk about them, and then whoop, on to the next topic. They couldn't be bothered more with that. And I get the feeling that even if they had been and we were 3-0, nothing to be said. And then not only that, but listening to some of the recaps of Seahawks New Orleans, and just, rough day for New Orleans, just all New Orleans. And nothing about Sam Darnold having a fantastic day,
being one of the top receivers in the league.
And having a mini Jordan flu game, and the defense smothering people and being 3rd in the league in scoring. I don't know. I guess
Corey Horton through 3 weeks of the season, contributing both within the offense and on special teams in a way that is incredibly impressive.
This is how like, Torrey Horton has been pretty darn good. He even gets mentions on the national stuff. Oh, Torrey Horton, like, I mean, 5th round step, maybe steal the draft. Like, he's really good. On to the next topic.
At least he got the mention. That's just like he and Zabel made their way onto the PFF All Rookie team through 3 weeks. That was nice.
That can't be true. Zabel's trash.
I've been told that he is actually, in fact, pretty good.
You didn't even have to be told. You know what you can do? You can turn on the game. You can turn on the film, and you can, like, watch it from, like, end zone angles and stuff. And you're like, oh, look at that. That's quite good.
The thing with Zabel, it's really, if he were the weakest link on the offensive line, it would be one thing, but he's not. Like,
is he even the second weakest link?
He's right square in the middle.
Because I would say Sundell's a weaker link than he is.
Sundell and Bradford. And then you have Abe and you have Cross, who have been really good.
Right. So, he's a middle child, Zabel, right now. The thing is like, has Zabel made mistakes? Yes. Is he consistently making the same mistakes over and over again? No. And that's the big thing. He's a rookie still. The fact that he can go out there and be a quality starter right out the gate, coming from North Dakota State.
Yeah.
I mean,
when's the last time that we saw a rookie come in and through 3 games is like, oh, yeah, we're not getting destroyed because we have a rookie in there. On the interior.
2012? On the interior. Yeah, I don't know. Never.
Steve Hutchinson?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
The last guy to wear 76.
There we go.
So, yeah, maybe there was a guy in between that we're forgetting about, but no, it's been refreshing to have a rookie that through 3 games, like, it appears that he can play, and
he belongs.
That makes me happy.
He absolutely belongs, no doubt about it.
All right, Adam. Well, my do better this week. It's going back to the commentary that you were bringing up, and maybe I can take some ownership on this one too, because the crowd stadium, like, maybe as fans we just aren't quite into it yet, and know, like, when to appropriately make noise. Because I will know, like, just recognizing my own game, being at the stadium, when the Saints were going into hurry up, like, I was kind of unsure of okay, well, when do I rest my voice? Do I just make noise all the time? And so, like, the Saints, they would be done with the play, and then they'd be calling the play, and it's like, oh, they're not huddling up. Like, I should be making noise right now. And so I sensed that same kind of confusion throughout the crowd, like that maybe we hadn't gotten to that form of the season to where we recognize the hurry up offense and be able to go out there. Like, I feel like it's on me. I was there. I should have been coaching up my fellow crowd members as to what we should do, and really start to make some noise, like, a little bit earlier when we recognize the no huddle. Like, we got to get this stuff down so we don't start to see more teams going no huddle and hurry up. Although, I guess if they're going to perform in the same way the Saints did when they actually did go into hurry up, maybe it wouldn't matter too much. But for me, recognizing that maybe as a fan, I was deficient. I'm going to say to me, and not being at the top of my game as a fan, to do better.
Okay. I mean, I'll accept it. I think you're being a little hard on yourself, but I'll accept it. I hadn't thought about that, the idea of the Saints going no huddle there early. And maybe that was the time of the game that I was seeing that too, where people were like, gosh, I just got done. Like, I need a drink.
I will say, okay, as someone who has sat in different parts of the stadium, there are different cultures to different areas of the stadium.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
So if you're the higher up that you sit, I would say is more of the lunch pail type crew of the game. Like, I'm making noise. I feel like the end zones and then the upper seats in the 300 level in particular, that's where you get the majority of the crowd noise.
Gotcha.
As you get closer to the 50-yard line on the lower level, that's where you start to see the more sit in the chair and politely clap and, maybe make some noise on third down. That's just what I've picked up on going to different games and sitting in different spots.
Gotcha. So basically more money, less yelling? Is that where it's at?
Yeah, maybe they figure out the people up top got it.
Maybe, but don't figure that. Like, come on. Like, we can do a little bit better. But
I think so too.
Yeah. And again, it's week 3. Everybody's working themselves back into shape. I mean, we had no training camp as fans. No. Yeah. So it takes a minute.
It does. So we don't need a prompt on the screen saying sack or one of those, how to 12 videos. Like, we'll get there. We just need to coach each other up.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's not even like a scolding. It's more like a pat on the butt and being like, let's go.
Yeah.
Come on.
And I heard, so when we were there week 1, like we would on offense, when the team was out there on offense, like we'd start to hear some of those Seahawks chants. And I would say that I heard fewer Seahawks chants while the team was on offense in this game. Like, people respected the, being quiet while the offense was on the field.
Yeah. Again, just got to take a minute to get into midseason form. Like, no doubt about it.
It's our preseason too.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, yeah, none of us started in the preseason, man. Like, so.
No.
All right.
Maybe be coached up a little bit. What do you got for do better?
Okay. Well, talking about taking some time and letting some things round into form or that sort of thing. That's where my do better's going for this week, Brandon, because shortly before we came on, I read a headline that Russell Carrington-Wilson is no longer the starting quarterback for the New York Football Giants. They're going to throw in the rookie, Jackson Dart, because he's so ready. And, like, you got to see, Brandon, you got to see Jackson Dart right now so that you know what you got. Like, you got to throw him in there right now. I mean, if you're Brian Dable and you're Joe Shane, like, you got to save your job. Like, this has to happen right now. You can't wait. You can't.
You picked him in the first round for a reason. And so you have to get him out there so you can see.
That's right.
You can't just rely on practice.
You can't rely on practice. You can't. How else is he supposed to get experience? By practice? What a stupid notion that is. You might get better by practicing. That's crazy. That's insane. No, you got to throw the rookie out there right now. Draft him the first round for a reason. The reason was I was excited and I want to see him as soon as possible. The reason wasn't that I drafted him in the first round for him to eventually be good and be our franchise quarterback. Like that wasn't the reason. It was because you got to see him. We got to see him right now because the Giants are going somewhere and we need this guy in there right now. I've watched so many of these stupid national shows where their take is literally, why not? Just throw him out there. It can't be worse. Yeah, it can be worse. You know how it can be worse? You throw Jackson Dart out there to, quote, gain experience when the first defense he's going to face is the Chargers, then the Saints, then Philly, Denver, Philly, San Fran, Chicago, whose defense is good, Green Bay, Detroit. Like, that's a stretch of games.
Oh my God.
You're going to throw a guy who started for Ole Miss last year, who has one of the most rinky-dink rudimentary college offenses in all the land because he looked good in the freaking preseason. Have some patience. I have no idea when NFL teams lost the ability to sit a guy for at least 1 year and let him learn the ropes behind a veteran quarterback. Like, if you're so sick of Russell Wilson, that's fine.
Patrick Mahomes was the last one, which makes this the weirdest argument as to why you wouldn't do that. Like, Patrick Mahomes, he got to sit behind a veteran quarterback for a whole year. Why would you not do that if after seeing that success? It's like teams go, well, what if we have Patrick Mahomes on the bench? We should find out now.
Right. But you can't have Patrick Mahomes be Patrick Mahomes until he sits on the bench for a year and learn from Alex Smith, much like Jordan Love sitting behind Aaron Rodgers. We have watched, like, there are guys that can come in and succeed right away. There are. And that's cool. But not every dude is that dude. Jackson Dart is one of those guys. I'm telling you that right now before he goes on his spree starting football games. If you're so sick of Russell Wilson, throw in Famous Jameis. He'd be fun. He'll chuck it down there to neighbors and hit goalposts too. Like, it'll be just fine. But the New York Football Giants aren't going anywhere. And if this is being pressured from ownership, where that would make no sense to me, because ownership is going to be there next year and the year after that and the year after that. You want this guy to be good in the future. You don't give a crap if he's saving Daboll and Joe Shane's job. Joe Shane got rid of Saquon Barkley because he's a catfish moron. Like, I'd be pissed too if I was the owner. He'd be gone. Daboll, he clearly doesn't have the pulse of this team. He hasn't for about like 2 years. Like, he's going to be gone. Fine. So why risk throwing Jackson Dart out there right now and stunting his development? Everybody acts like the only way you can get better is by playing football. And it's just factually not true. In his stupid gold neck chain is going to get broken while he's out there. His confidence is going to get broken. You can't run RPOs all fucking day with Jackson Dart in the league. It's not going to work. So to whoever's making this decision, whether it's Daboll to save his job, dude, just if you really care about the New York Giants on your way out the door, sit Jackson Dart. Or whether it's Joe Shane, same thing. Just actually care about the team you say you care about and sit Jackson Dart. Like, or ownership. Like, make a better decision. Whoever it is who's making this decision, you gotta do better. God, the thing that should also, we talked about Mahomes in Love as examples. The other thing that should show you, like, as evidence that it's not a great idea to throw all of these dudes out there right away, is Sam Darnold, is Baker Mayfield, is Jared Goff. Like, go down the list of failed first-round quarterbacks that are now having renaissances later on with different teams throughout the league, and you'll see some of these guys, they just need some time. If you don't break their confidence right out the freaking gate, maybe the Browns have playoff winning quarterback Baker Mayfield as their guy with Myles Garrett across the way. Maybe the Jets aren't stuck in endless QB purgatory if they give Sam Darnold a beat to learn the league and not have to see ghosts in Adam Gaze's eyeballs looking at him on the regular. Like, just on and on with this stuff. I don't get it, Brandon. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I also feel bad for Russ. He's had one great game, one terrible game, and one so-so game week one that everybody said he was terrible. He was fine. It's unfair to Russ. It's unfair to Jackson Dart. I don't like it.
I don't like it either. And I think what it comes down to is watching just, it feels reactionary by someone within the organization, whether it's the coaches, whether it's ownership, because I think where this decision got made is by the fans. And maybe it was by design that it was made by the fans, because the coaches would send out Dart in this last game for these package plays. And, the crowd would cheer. Oh, Jackson Dart's on the field. Oh, it's a great time. And then that would be for that one package play. And then Russ would come back on the field. Oh, boo, we don't like Russ. And the fans would, you would hear the grumbling. Like, every single time they would do these package plays. And I think you have to have a recognition of what's going on within the team to be able to even do some of that, because you don't get that same sense when Jalen Milroe comes out on the field. We've seen him come out on the field a couple times in home games for a gadgety run play. And there's not that reaction from the crowd of when Sam comes back on the field, or even a really big cheer when Jalen's recognized out on the field. It's just, okay, this is what we're doing. And to see that with the Giants fan base, it's either the coach is not having a pulse of what they should be doing, or they're really taking too much of the fans' voice into consideration.
I just can't understand this swapping quarterbacks thing in the middle of the game as a regular part of your offense. Like, I genuinely don't get it. Coaches are terrified to do it with freaking guards, because they're like, offense, oh no, you can't do that. They need the continuity, all that stuff, right? And then you're going to do it with the quarterback? Like, it makes very little sense to me, and it breaks up the rhythm of the offense. When they did it to Russ in that Giants game, I was just like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like this, and then they run an RPO both times with Dart, and sure, everybody cheered when he came on the field. Did you cheer after the result of those RPOs? Probably not.
No,
because they were decidedly ineffective. I don't get it. It doesn't make a lick of sense to me. I think it's the beginning of the end of Jackson Dart right fast. Like this, it's going to be tough on him. He was not NFL ready when he came to the league, and then you're going to throw him again against that gauntlet of Chargers, New Orleans, Philly, Denver, Philly, San Francisco, Chicago, Green Bay, Detroit. Like, good effing luck, young man. Good luck.
Giants fans will be calling for Jameis Winston, I think, by halftime.
By halftime? Wow. Okay. I was going to say, what, like week 8? Like, by halftime. That's crazy.
I mean, if Jameis isn't playing by the Green Bay game, I'll be shocked.
I think I'm with you on that, to be honest.
Which, again, that's unfortunate with, and maybe that's where ownership goes, oh, we'll see, we gave Dable a chance with the pick to see what he could do with Jackson Dart, and obviously he was ineffective, so now we're going to fire the coach.
How would you not have a decision already on Dable? I don't understand how he's still there right now.
Right.
Like, I mean, didn't we already see everything we've needed to see from Brian Dable, head coach, New York Giants? Like, I'm not saying he can't head coach somewhere else at some point and have success, but it hasn't looked good there. And I mean, how does Joe Shane have his job after Hard Knocks? Like, I can't wrap my head around that one. That would have, man, if I were a Giants fan, one, reevaluate a lot of life things, but two, like watching that, I would have. I swear I would have broken the TV.
If you live in New York, what are you going to do? Be a Buffalo fan? Like if you're not going to be a Jets fan?
You might have taste if you do that. They play in your own state. They've been more consistently good for the past few years. Yeah, I don't know.
That does seem like the obvious way to go, but maybe they just aren't into commuting that far. And although if you're in New York, you have lots of options of teams that if you want a bandwagon jump onto, like go ahead.
Oh, for sure. But hey, maybe the Jets self-loathing kind of fandom, maybe that's seeped over into Giants land now. And they share a stadium. They might as well share that attribute as well.
There you go. On to Better at Life. My Better at Life this week, Adam, is for Isaiah Rodgers of the Vikings. We mentioned him earlier. Not only did he have an amazing game against the Bengals, what it resulted in was the perfect PFF grade, an all-time defensive performance for Isaiah Rodgers. Nobody in the history of the PFF era since 2006 has ever gotten a perfect score. And with that performance, he got a 99.9 in that win over Cincinnati. Gosh, even in, I think, pass coverage, he had over a 99 grade. So for Isaiah Rodgers doing something that we haven't seen in the history of the NFL, at least over the course of PFF being in existence. Isaiah Rodgers, better at life than Skip Bayless.
All right. So perfect PFF score, huh? I mean, if you say so, PFF, that's fine.
It matches the eye test. If you watch that game, Isaiah Rodgers could not have played a better football game.
Yeah, man.
Like he was punching the football out, recovering. It was like the Isaiah Rodgers show for half that game.
Yeah, and good for him, man. Like that's got to be super fun for a young player in that a day he'll never forget. And really, really cool. And it happened to the Vikings, which I don't have a lot of sports hate for the Vikings. In fact, I don't think I have any.
I did for a little bit, like after the Hutch trade, like that. I had some hatred for the sports hatred for the Vikings organization. Like they hosed us on that one.
No, they did. Poison pills, all that nonsense, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've always found Minnesota fan to be less obnoxious than like Green Bay fan.
Oh yeah.
And so I appreciate them. I kind of dig the unis. I like the horns. I've got, the Norwegian ancestry. So that kind of plays in, right? Even if I can't say the word. And, I like the skull thing. I like the horn blow thing. I mean,
are they your second favorite team?
Not even close. Okay. No, I just don't have sports hate for them.
Oh yeah. The Bills are your second favorite team.
Very distant second favorite team. Yes.
I don't care what the distance is. It's just there's a 2.
You should, because things that are far away don't mean as much to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
All right. Well, my better at life. I know I just said things that are far away from you shouldn't mean as much. Disregard that, because my better at life than Skip Bayless this week is for NASA. Because Brandon, it was announced just the other day that the Artemis 2 mission, which will be the second launch of the Artemis program. Mm-hmm. They sent up the Space Launch System, the SLS, a little while ago, and they flew the Orion capsule around the moon, unmanned, and then flew it back. And, a couple things they had to iron out there, but they've got them ironed out. They have announced they're done screwing around. They're done waiting for Elon Musk to get the big, what do they call it? The big freaking rocket, whatever they call the big rocket. So I can't believe I'm blanking on it, but the big silver one that we've been seeing fail over and over and over again. They're done waiting on that.
Yeah.
They've got the SLS. They're ready to rock. Maybe as early as February up to about April. They're going to strap some dudes into that thing, man. And we're flying that bad boy around the moon. It's happening. We're going for it. Artemis 2, going back to the moon. And if you tell me we go to the moon in the first place, hit your head against the wall harder again, and get that out of your noggin. I can't wait. I'm excited for this. America's going back to the moon, Brandon. So to NASA and the Artemis 2 astronauts and all the people working on the SLS, you are better at life than Skip Bayless.
I'm into this.
Starship. That's what it's called. Starship. Golly.
Even if we haven't, if we can't be settled on whether or not we've been to the moon, for you and I,
no, we can.
We haven't been to the moon in our lifetime, so I'm ready to see it.
True fact. Yeah. No, and we can settle that. It's a little like trying to settle whether or not we breathe air. I mean, if you can agree on that, which, fact, you should be able to agree on.
We can't seem to agree if birds are real, or if the Earth is flat.
That's a joke. That's a joke. It literally was made as a spoof conspiracy theory.
You don't think that the Earth is flat came out as a spoof conspiracy theory either?
I don't know. I don't know what dudes before Galileo were thinking, if they thought it was ironic thinking the Earth was flat.
Yeah, but to go back to it, like after we decided.
Oh, no, that's just bell curve things, man, and being on the wrong side of one of those.
Because we had a pretty solid discussion about that dude who wanted to launch himself up so he could decide for himself.
Dude died doing that stuff too. So tough break on him for him, but come on, man, read a book.
Yeah.
You didn't need to.
I did respect that, he wanted to learn for himself to be able to convince himself. But I respected wanted to be get the firsthand knowledge.
Well, I mean, that's cool and all. Then start training and go be an astronaut.
Sure.
Get launched up on a legit rocket rather than Monster Garage rocket.
It's real hard though.
Well, yeah, I understand. I mean, I'm sure he understands now just how hard it is and why it's that hard.
Yep. R.I.P. Crazy Mike.
That's right.
His name was Mike.
That tracks. Absolutely.
I just picked the most generic name apart from you and me.
Right? Yeah, with our very generic Gen X white boy names. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, Adam, Thursday night football, we're here for it. It's the Arizona Cardinals. I'm a little bit bummed that you're going to be hitting the road. We may not see you, but maybe we will. Maybe we'll get a little Adam on the road action.
It is possible. Look, I think that I can confidently say I'll at least catch the second half. So I may pop in with you and Clinton for a second at the very least, just to screw things up. Yeah.
Well, let's see our Seahawks get the win, move to 3-1, and do it on the road against those stupid Arizona Cardinals, Adam.
And no injuries. Whatever sacrifice you need to make this week for your Hawkra, whatever it is, light it on fire. Do what you have to do. Like we need to get through this game. No injuries, and if we do that, Brandon, we're going back to the moon, and maybe we're going back to the Super Bowl.
And I think with that,
there's only one thing left to say.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.